Well, hello, hello. Welcome to chapter 80, 80 of World's Longest Suicide Note. My name is Roger, and I've been suicidal for a very long time, and I get through each day. Not every day is like that. I don't want to make anyone think by any stretch of the imagination that every day I'm in that deep muck trying to just get through that day. No, I mean, it's not like that. I deal with severe depression and anxiety, PTSD, and so life is challenging. And when life gets challenging, my mind immediately goes to suicide and not being here. It's not about the death. It's about the ceasing of the pain, and so that's why. But even though that's something that I deal with on an ongoing basis, I am not in any way, shape, or form a mental health expert or someone you should base life decisions on. I'm just offering perspective from somebody who's lived with this and dealt with this. And yeah, and this is the 80th one. So I'm going to just kind of be talking about doing a check-in and where I'm at and what's going on, and that's what today's going to be about. So I got a little bit of color on my plastic, my cardboard palette. I just use cardboard palettes. I mean, sound like palette, like, anyway, doesn't really matter. I don't even know why I'd bring that up. Okay, we're set. I got a lot of stuff right in front of me. I don't know where to put my coffee cup. All right, here we go. I'll set this over here. That's better. All right, here we go. I'm painting on, obviously the last time since I've, I added color to it, some base colors. I'm just going to say it. I love hummingbirds. And that's something that's kind of come on. There's a lot of jokes and things about as you get older, you start digging birds a lot more. And I kind of heard that, like, I've seen old people with their binoculars. I mean, it's like their little frail arms could barely lift up the massive frickin' binoculars. It's like the kind that they used to mount on Navy ships, and people you'd look out on the horizon for enemy and whatnot. But the tons of the old folks carried them around the neck, and they're like, doing a clean, power clean to get it up to their eyes. Oh, look at that. It's a blue-breasted something. I don't know birds. I know hummingbirds. And I find them fascinating. I got feeders in my yard. And it just makes me happy when they come and hang out. So it's kind of weird, but it is what it is. But I love how bright they are, and there's no way I'm going to ever be able to capture like the brightness, the vibrancy. So I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to throw some color on here and hope that it kind of represents a little bit of the majesty that is the hummingbird. Yeah, I think I came on last time and I just talked about being disappointed just kind of in a state of disappointment about how things are going, and yeah, I think that kind of continues. It persists a little bit. Yeah, and it just feels. I mean, I just have been kind of. I'm not downward spiraling, but I'm just not. It's like if I was in my scale of like great day being on the surface and then going down the rabbit hole, the different levels going down the rabbit hole. I think that I'm, I'm about the first or second level, just kind of, I'm not above ground, but I'm not deep. It's kind of a weird way to explain that. It's just, I'm not, I'm just meh. I'm moving forward, getting stuff done. And that's, honestly, I'm what I'd consider a high functioning depressant person. I manage through muscle memory and through a lot of hard work and pain and suffering. I'm able to get stuff done because I've trained myself to get things done even when I don't want to get things done. And I've created a muscle memory for doing that in a process. And so I'm able to work my way through a lot of the, those feelings that for many people, I think keeps them from doing anything at all. And so, I've developed that over years of just flat effort, just like this cannot control me. I need to have some control. And so I force the control through sheer fucking will and determination. I was able to carve out a little bit of an ability to just move forward when you don't. I mean, especially when you don't feel it. I mean, that's the whole idea is because if you leave it up to yourself and how you're feeling, it's like, what am I going to do today? Let me give that power to my thoughts and feelings. No, my thoughts and feelings would say, nah, today sucks. So we're not going to do anything today. And I didn't want to give my depression that power over me and my schedule and my abilities and what my desire to actually succeed. And so I was able to instill and this regiment, this where and I say muscle memory, but it's habit, it's practice, it's whatever you think it however you want to describe it. But at the end of the day, that's what gets me, on these days where I don't feel chipper, I don't feel like getting out of bed. It provides me the opportunity to just not think about it and just do. Um, and that's been amazing for me. And but I mean, it's, you have to service that. I mean, it's great, but if you take it for granted and you don't do the things, like get up out of bed and make your bed and move forward with life. If you don't do it, then, or you give yourself a day off or something. And I do take days, the weekends I don't, are different than the weekdays as far as my routine. I still have to, especially on Saturday, because Sunday I just let whatever, that is my, Sunday's my, be whoever you want to be day. You want to be lazy. If you want to sleep in, anything. Ironically, Sunday's the least, I just usually get up and get rolling without, but I don't have to get out of bed. And I think that makes a difference. I may get out of bed at the same time, or roughly the same time. Come on. Sometimes the paint doesn't want to come. There it is. Sorry for the noise. Yeah. So Sundays are whatever days I usually will be up, and but like I say, giving myself a day of the week where I don't have to have, and Saturdays aren't critical for me to jump out of bed. I mean, I usually get started early because that's kind of a process. That I have. So it's not like I'm not doing anything. Anyway, I think I count on myself. This I'm trying to explain it, and I want to use big words. I want to, because I'm sure there's big words to describe this, but my mind's not coming up with any big words. So basically, it's a habit I've created for myself, and it allows me to be fair, to be able to be high functioning, as far as my depression goes. I get to run a business. I get to be a part of people's lives, and be a part of other groups and activities. And I'm able to paint murals with a group that we paint murals for nonprofit organizations. I'm able to do things because I have given myself, the opportunity to have some control. It's not, believe me, I'm constantly struggling for more control. I would love more control. But again, that's got to be developed. So I appreciate that, the ability to kind of function. Where am I at? Okay. It is something that I appreciate, and it gives me the opportunity to be an actual participant in my life, instead of being, having my disease rule my life, which that's just not something that I want to have happen. I need to be a participant. I need to have a say in what's going on, and who I am, because who you are has nothing to do with your name. Who you are is defined every day by what you do. the things that you do, the work that you do, the people that you help, you know, including yourself. That's who you are. You are who what choices you make every day. And so I don't want to just be the guy that's not present because he's being controlled by his disease. That doesn't feel good, and it's not really who I want to be. So I cannot allow that to happen, or at least not without a fight. I can't allow my depression and my invasive thoughts to control me. I mean, that doesn't mean, believe me, I live in fear of, even now, even still, I think one of the fears that drive me is the fear that someone will find out that I have mental illness. Not because I told them, but because they see that. It's like, it's visible, it's noticeable. And I'm not trying to hide. You know, I think there's an important distinction here. I'm not trying to hide who I am and what I go through. I'm open with it. With that, I'm honest with that. But I also understand that it wants to control me. It wants to put me in a couch, in a dark room, isolated from mankind, or it wants to put me in a hole 6 feet deep. 6 feet long, 8 feet deep. 8 feet long, 6 feet deep. Anyway, doesn't matter. And that's what it wants for me, and I cannot allow that to happen. So I must do the things that I have to do to at least, because at the end of the day, if I'm meh, and for a year, that's better than being deeper. That's better than going, allowing it to control me any further, any more profoundly. And so, yeah, I don't know. So that's where I'm at. I'm just doing the best I can to stay as high, trying to get back to that surface area. But if I can't, then I'm going to fight to stay here, knowing that a couple of good things, I'm just a couple of good things away from being at the surface, which is awesome. So I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep trucking along, taking care of self-care. That the whole thing, self-care. It's all self-care. So don't forget that. Developing that muscle memory, that's self-care. That's doing that, doing the hard work so it doesn't have to be that hard down the road. If you do some really, really hard work for a period of time, for months and months and months, you develop that. And then it becomes easier as you do it. So that's what I encourage. Yes, it sucks. That first, when you're developing that, it's all your will. It's you are overcoming it just by sheer force of will, but it gets easier as you do it. So I encourage you, if you're still fighting for control, jump into that and really put some work in, and it'll pay dividends. But again, I have to say it. I mean, don't change anything. don't change. Don't say, okay, well, I need to do this, so I'm going to change something dramatic in my life. This is something that small changes. If you don't feel like your meds are working, don't just stop them. Go talk to your doctor and say, look, either we need to change something, because sometimes if you feel like you're in this stage like I'm at, you may think it may be your meds just aren't keeping up with the adaptations in your disease. You may need to increase your meds or decrease some or whatever. But that's something that you should be consulting a professional about. So if you're going to make changes, if you're going to say, yes, I'm going to dive into this and I'm going to do it more drastically, please get help to do that, because every change has a consequence. Some good, some bad. So I don't want you to think that, yeah, all you got to do is put some, your will is going to no, it's that plus all the self-care plus everything else that you do. That's the big thing. So anyway, now that I've rogered it all up, and I've taken a simple concept and I've beat it to death, to the point where I don't understand if I made a point or not. I think I've wasted your time enough today. So I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you keep fighting. And I hope you join me again for the next one. We're going to put some more color on this beautiful little guy. All right. Take good care.